Ladies and gentlemen, imagine this for a moment. You bend down to tie your shoelaces, and then realize you can't get back up. Not because you're hurt, not because something snapped, but because your body no longer responds the way it used to. That one moment, often brushed off or laughed away, might be the first quiet signal that your independence is beginning to fade. And here's what might shock you the most. Only 5% of people over the age of 70 can still perform 5 basic tasks that are crucial not only for mobility, but for longevity, brain function, and self-respect. These aren't extreme athletic moves or senior fitness tests. They're everyday actions, sitting down, standing up, walking, lifting, that you've done thousands of times. Until one day you can't. After over a decade working closely with older adults, I've learned one fundamental truth. Aging doesn't steal your strength, inaction does. It's not the candles on your cake or the year on your license that causes decline. It's the daily surrender to stiffness, to weakness, to the belief that this is just what getting old looks like. And once that belief settles in, the body follows. What starts as hesitation becomes avoidance. What was once a slight wobble turns into a fall. But it doesn't have to be that way. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 powerful skills that only a rare few seniors still retain after 70. But here's the twist. Every one of them is trainable. You can get them back. You can reverse decline. And you can regain control over your body and your future starting today. These 5 abilities are more predictive of independence, resilience, and even survival than most people realize. Some will push your physical limits. Others will quietly test your brain's resilience. And one of them, just one, could change how you see aging forever. So before we dive into the first one, take a moment right now. If this message resonates with you, if any part of it makes you pause and think, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and leave a comment sharing which part surprised, or even scared, you the most. Your journey might be the spark someone else needs. Now, let's begin with the first skill. A deceptively simple action that reveals more about your long-term health than most lab results ever could. Let's talk about getting up from the floor. 1. Getting up from the floor without using your hands. The floor test. Let me ask you something simple, but serious. If you were sitting on the floor right now, could you get up without using your hands? No grabbing the edge of a chair. No pushing off your knee. Just you, your legs, your core, and your confidence. Most people over 70 can't. And that single fact tells me more about their future than a dozen blood tests ever could. In my years working with older adults, I've come to respect this one overlooked ability. It's called the floor test, and it speaks volumes. Getting up from the floor without assistance is far more than a party trick. It's a full-body diagnostic. It reveals your muscle strength, joint flexibility, balance, coordination, and how efficiently your nervous system communicates with your body. When you stand up unaided, your quads, glutes, hamstrings, abs, and spinal stabilizers all work together in harmony. If even one part of that chain is compromised, the movement becomes shaky or impossible. But the concern goes deeper than difficulty. According to a major study, people who can't rise from the floor without help are up to 5 times more likely to die within 6 years. That's not to scare you, it's to wake you up. Because the moment you struggle to stand is the moment your body whispers, you're losing control. But here's what I always tell my patients. You're never too old to train this. Start small. Sit on a soft surface and try to rise without using your hands. If it's hard, don't be discouraged. That struggle is your starting point. Add gentle exercises like chair squats, leg lifts, and core activation into your daily routine. You're not just building strength. You're rebuilding autonomy, dignity, and the confidence that you can take care of yourself, no matter what. Losing this ability isn't just about physical decline. It chips away at your identity, your independence, your sense of safety. And that's why this test matters more than it seems. Because when you reclaim your ability to rise, you're not just standing up, you're rising above limitation. And if this movement reflects the strength beneath you, the next one reveals how far you can still go. So let's take that strength and move it forward, step by step. Let's talk about walking. 2. Walking briskly for 30 minutes without stopping. If standing up from the floor shows how well your body rises, then walking, briskly, purposefully, without stopping for 30 minutes, reveals whether your body can truly carry you through life. At first glance, Walking may seem far too simple to matter, but as a health professional with over a decade of experience, I can tell you that this one habit is a game changer. Most people don't notice its importance until they lose it. Walking continuously for half an hour engages your heart, lungs, blood vessels, legs, and even your brain in synchronized motion. It's more than just a form of transportation. It's a signal that your cardiovascular system is resilient, your balance is stable, and your musculoskeletal system still works in harmony. When you walk at a brisk pace, your heart rate rises, your circulation improves, and oxygen reaches your brain with more efficiency, sharpening your memory, mood, and focus. It's no coincidence that some of the strongest research on preventing cognitive decline, yes, including Alzheimer's, points to walking as one of the most effective daily habits. But beyond the science, walking has another power. It keeps you in motion, physically and emotionally. I've seen so many older adults stop taking walks after a minor fall or a health scare, thinking rest is safer. But that rest slowly becomes routine, the couch becomes a trap, and within months, they're weaker, lonelier, and more afraid than ever. Walking is resistance against that quiet decline. It's low risk, high reward. It's accessible, and most importantly, it builds a rhythm into your day. Forward motion that gives structure and purpose. Even just 10 minutes, then 15, then 30. Every step counts. And don't wait until it's difficult, because by then, the damage is already happening silently. Start now. Make it a habit. Let your feet remind you that you are still in control of where you go and how you live. And if walking tests your endurance, the next skill will test something even more subtle, but just as important, your strength. Not in distance, but in the ability to lift. Because what you can lift reflects how much of your life you can still carry. Let's talk about strength. 3. Lifting 20 pounds. What strength really means. Let me ask you something most people never think about, until it's too late. Could you lift a 20-pound bag of groceries, a small suitcase, or even a squirming grandchild without strain? That simple question may hold the answer to whether you remain independent or slowly become dependent. You see, strength isn't about lifting heavy barbells or building big muscles. It's about preserving your ability to carry your life. Over the years, I've watched patients lose this without realizing it. At first, it's just a little fatigue. Then, struggling to open a jar. Eventually, they can't lift what they once did effortlessly, and suddenly, they need help for everything. Lifting 20 pounds may seem trivial, but it's a fundamental benchmark of functional health. It reflects not just your muscle power, but the integrity of your joints, bones, posture, and balance. It tells us whether you're still capable of withstanding stress, catching yourself in a fall, or climbing stairs with confidence. And here's something powerful. Muscle is not just tissue, it's a reservoir of life. It protects your bones, boosts your metabolism, supports your immune system, and stabilizes your emotions. When you lose muscle, you don't just get weaker. You become more fragile in every sense of the word. But just like balance and mobility, strength can be regained. At any age, resistance bands, water bottles, light dumbbells, even body weight movements can rebuild the fibers that keep you stable and strong. And don't underestimate the mental shift that comes with it. Strength creates confidence. The day someone realizes they can lift a full basket of laundry again is the day their mindset shifts from "I'm declining" to "I'm taking back control." And control is everything at this stage of life. So if walking keeps you moving forward, strength is what allows you to stand tall along the way. But there's still one more hidden test of resilience, and it doesn't require muscles. It takes something deeper. It's your body's ability to stay upright when the world tilts. In the next part, we'll uncover what just 10 seconds on one foot can tell us about your nervous system, your brain, and your future. Let's talk about balance. 4. Balance. Standing on one foot for 10 seconds. Here's a challenge that sounds almost laughably easy, until you try it. Stand on one foot for 10 seconds without holding onto anything. Go ahead, try it. You might wobble, you might feel your ankle quiver, or your body tilt unexpectedly. That tiny test? It's more than just a party trick. It's one of the most powerful early indicators of neurological decline, balance issues, and fall risk in older adults. I've had countless patients tell me, "I used to walk fine. Then one day I just fell." But falls don't start with a dramatic moment. They begin with subtle changes, hesitation, a shaky step, or difficulty staying upright with eyes closed. And balance, true balance, isn't just physical, it's neurological. Your inner ear, your eyes, your core, and your brain's proprioceptive system all work together, quietly, constantly, to keep you steady. When one part falters, the whole system becomes vulnerable. Falls are the #1 cause of injury-related death in people over 65. One fall can mean a broken hip, a hospital stay, and a long, painful road back, if you're lucky. But here's what I want you to remember. Balance is a skill, not a gift, not luck, a skill, and skills can be trained. Start by practicing near a wall or countertop. Stand on one foot while brushing your teeth. Add core exercises, foot strengthening, and neck mobility drills. Even eye movement exercises can help. Your nervous system is like a GPS. It can be recalibrated. The more you train it, the more stable and confident you become. And that confidence? It ripples into everything. Because when you can trust your body to hold you up, you start moving through the world with more freedom, more dignity. You stop avoiding curbs, stairs, or uneven ground. You stop shrinking back and start stepping forward. So far, we've talked about movement, muscle, and momentum. But none of these matter if there's no reason to rise, no purpose to move. And that brings us to the final and perhaps most important skill of all. It's not a physical ability, it's something deeper, the invisible force that drives it all. Let's talk about purpose. 5. Purpose, why meaning keeps you alive. If balance keeps you physically upright, purpose is what keeps you emotionally and spiritually standing. I've seen it more times than I can count. 2 patients with similar health, same diagnosis, same medication. One recovers quickly, returns to walking, laughing, living. The other fades slowly, despite every effort. The difference? One had something to wake up for. The other didn't. You see, purpose is not just poetic, it's physiological. It activates resilience. It reduces inflammation. It strengthens the immune system. And it gives your mind a reason to stay sharp. Studies show that seniors with a strong sense of purpose live longer, sleep better, have lower rates of depression, heart disease, even Alzheimer's. I once asked an 82-year-old woman, "What keeps you going?" She smiled and said, "My tomatoes." Every morning she watered them, talked to them, checked each one like a proud mother. Her body was frail, but her spirit was untouchable. That's purpose. And no, it doesn't have to be grand or glamorous. You don't need to write a book or save the world. Maybe your purpose is your pet, a plant, a prayer, a neighbor who needs your smile, a story only you can tell. Purpose is the invisible anchor that keeps you steady when life tries to drift you away. Without it, days blur, energy fades, and the will to fight disappears. But with it, even the smallest action feels meaningful. Even the hardest moment feels survivable. And here's the best part. Purpose is not something you find. It's something you choose. You decide what matters. You decide what gives your time meaning. Whether you're 70 or 90, the moment you believe your life still matters, it does. So if you followed this journey from standing up off the floor to walking, lifting, balancing, and now arriving here, know this. The most important thing to hold on to isn't strength or speed or even stability. It's meaning. Because with purpose in your heart, the rest will follow. And as we close this video, ask yourself, what is one thing that makes tomorrow worth waking up for? If you have an answer, hold it close. If you don't, start searching. Your life isn't over. In fact, this may be the most powerful chapter yet. So here we are. You've just taken a journey through 5 simple, yet powerful abilities that most people take for granted, until they can't. Getting up from the floor, walking with intention, lifting with strength, balancing with confidence, and holding on to purpose like your life depends on it, because in many ways, it does. These aren't just physical skills. They are mirrors that reflect how we live, how we age, and how much control we still have over our own future. And if you're watching this thinking, I can't do most of these, let me tell you something important. That doesn't mean you've failed. It means you found your starting point. Because every skill we covered today can be trained, improved, and regained. I've seen it happen. I've seen 78-year-olds who couldn't lift a shopping bag start strength training and feel stronger than they did at 60. I've seen widows who hadn't walked more than a block begin daily walks and find not only health, but hope. I've even seen people find their purpose at 85, after losing everything they thought gave their life meaning. It's never too late. What matters now is what you choose to do next. Will you ignore the signs and slip into slow decline? Or will you step forward, just a little, every day, towards strength, clarity, and purpose? That's your decision. But remember, your body, your brain, and your future respond to what you do today. And the smallest action, even standing up once without your hands, or taking a short walk after dinner, can begin to change everything. If this video spoke to you, if even one part made you stop and think, please do 3 things right now. Hit the like button so others can find this message, subscribe for more weekly insights on healthy aging, and leave a comment below. Share which part resonated with you most, or tell us what small habit you're committing to this week. You never know who might read your words and feel less alone. You've got more in you than you think. And no matter what age is on your driver's license, your next chapter is still yours to write. Let's make it powerful.